Once upon a time, thousands of years ago, a great and terrible winter fell like a hammer upon the land. With it came a darkness that lasted for a generation, and out of that darkness came something worse than death. This is the story of the Long Night, as the cataclysm came to be known. By the time of Jon Snow and Daenerys, Cersei and Jaime, Arya and Sansa, the endless winter had long ago faded into myth. Many, even the most learned archmaesters, question if it ever happened. But the event continues to shape the past, present, and future of Westeros.
Westeros was a very different place during the Age of Heroes, roughly 8,000 years, give or take, before Jon was even a glimmer in Prince Rhaegar Targaryen's eye. Instead of one realm made up of 9 constituent territories, but commonly referred to as the Seven Kingdoms, governed from a central capital, the continent was divided into many dozens of kingdoms, ruled by mighty lords and insignificant kings and every kind of ruler in between.
These included figures whose names now take on mythic status, like Bran the Builder, founder of House Stark, Lan the Clever, founder of House Lannister, and Doran the Storm King, who raised the great castle Storm's End.
The Age of Heroes began with the Pact, the agreement forged between the First Men, who were the first human inhabitants of Westeros, and the Children of the Forest, which ended centuries of war between the two races and ushered in thousands of years of peace.
Well, Westeros' version of peace. War was still a regular occurrence, kings still vied with their rivals, and feuds often ended in copious amounts of blood. Then, perhaps 6,000 years before the events of the show, came a winter unlike any other in history. Kings froze in their castles, the small folks starved in their thousands, and babies were born, grew into adulthood, and died, never having seen the sun, never knowing anything but implacable, bone-shattering cold.
Tales from across the narrow sea of frozen rivers and endless darkness lead us to believe that this event struck every part of the world, when it seemed things could get no worse. From the lands of always winter far, far to the north came the White Walkers. These demons of the cold rode ice spiders and dead horses and had the power to raise the fallen and make them do their evil bidding. With each person and beast they killed, their army and their power grew. They seemed unstoppable.
Yet somehow they were stopped. How exactly humanity prevailed over the forces of darkness, ended the Long Night, and saved the world is a subject of much debate, born of differing legends.
In the north, they speak of a last hero who set out in search of the Children of the Forest, with 12 companions, a dog, protect ghost, and a horse.
For years he sought the children. Finally, after all his friends and his dog and his horse had perished, after his sword had shattered in the cold, the last hero, now armed with the dragon steel blade, which, legends say, could slay the Ice Demons, located the Children of the Forest. With their aid, men prevailed over darkness in the battle for the dawn. A cadre of loyal followers, a dog, and a magic sword? Sounds like someone we know.
If the tales are true, King Bran Stark I, founder of House Stark, earned his moniker the Builder in part by raising the wall, and the Order of the Night's Watch was founded to man it and guard the realms of men against the White Walkers' return. Across the Narrow Sea, meanwhile, the Rhoynar people tell tales of a darkness that caused the great river Rhoyne to shrink, and of a hero who united the creatures of the river. Together, they sung magical song, which banished the dark.
And from Ashai by the Shadow comes the tale of Azor Ahai, the hero who forged the sword Lightbringer by plunging the molten blade into his beloved wife's chest. Oof. And with it did battle against the forces of darkness. And this story bears striking similarities to the prophecy of the prince that was promised, the messianic figure said to be born amidst smoke and salt and save the world from evil.
Is he a ham? We'll learn more about these events once the prequel series, which is set during these trying years, hits our screens. For now, though, the event remains largely a mystery.
So how will Jon and Dany and the rest resist the White Walkers? How will they win? Will the Children of the Forest play a role as they have in the past, or are they now extinct after the attack on the Heart Tree beyond the Wall? Valyrian steel and lots of dragonglass, the only two substances known for certain to kill the others, will certainly play a role. We've seen that dragon fire from Dany's 2 remaining dragons can kill whites. Let's hope it can kill the walkers too. Or the Night King and his army will roll over Westeros like an unstoppable tide and make winter the only season.